The Allegheny Journal is delighted to host the mayor of the town of Clifton Forge, Jeff Irvine, on this very cool Saturday morning. And Mayor is here to talk about roads in the town of Clifton Forge. The Journal did a little walk around on an area of the Heights where Columbia Gas has been ripping up the streets and then paving over the slices in the roadways. And even though they probably did a fairly good job of it, it still makes the roads kind of messy and rough. So it was very kind of the mayor to come on with us today and talk about roads and some questions surrounding them. Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you today. You know, public would probably like to know, VDOT gives you money for streets. How much do they give the town each year?
VDOT, a lot of people, think we have all kinds of money to spend on roads, but VDOT gives Clifton Forge a stipend every year for road maintenance. And that includes, the paving, the ice and snow removal, salt, the gravel for all road repairs as needed, from storms, drainage, and accidents, anything like that. Last fall, we allocated 315,000 and spent that for paving.
Okay, and the public would like to know probably, okay, you've got X amount of funds. How do you decide which streets get them? I mean, how are they rated, or do you have a committee, or is it the town manager or the council? How does that all work?
Um, the we have an not order we have an engineering group that comes in. We hire to rate the roads. Last year, we hired the engineering firm of A. Morton Thompson to evaluate every foot of paved roadway in this town.
Wow.
They rated. Go ahead.
No,
They
wow,
rated.
yeah.
All right. They rated those roadways on a condition from very poor, poor, fair, good. That's the rating system. Based upon the recommendation, we've started with the streets with the worst ratings, serving the highest number of people, and that will continue. We'll work through that until everything has been addressed, and then we'll evaluate them and do it again. It happens every 2 years.
And I guess if I'm on a street that I think maybe I don't like the rating that the engineering firm applied to it, I guess you can always come and speak before town council. You can bring your pictures or whatever. And isn't that why you have citizens comment?
Yes, yes, sir. I mean, any street that or I've read a lot about. We had pothole in that street hadn't been done for years. Let us
Right.
know. Just call town manager or Chris from Public Works, or if you can't get that, call me and we'll address it.
Well, I mean, that's very kind of you to point that out. And many people don't want to come and speak before
Yeah.
town council, but I guess they can always send a pleasant email or call town hall, and it's not that big of a deal. Plus, in many cases, like you say, you might not even know about them. There's a heck of a lot of
Yeah.
roadways.
Yeah.
Um, Last year, Jeff, there was talk about the repaving of Ridgeway Street from Roxbury almost out to the bridge going towards the community college. That didn't happen. Uh, It's can you tell us what, why didn't that happen? We knew that there were, painted lines going on there to do the various infrastructure, but the paving didn't happen.
Yeah, I think the time ran out of with the asphalt. Um, that is over $1 million project that's we have a grant for, and hopefully that is going to happen this year as soon as the asphalt opens up. That's a VDOT grant too that we got. So
Okay.
we have to go from there, but it should happen this year, and it is planned to happen this year.
Well, you guys did a lot of water line and valve infrastructural repair downtown. And admittedly, I mean, this is a tough situation. It's right there at Commercial and Ridgeway, and you've done some patching there. It's still pretty rough. Is that the way it's going to stay, or what are the plans for Ridgeway Street downtown?
The two worst, like you say, is right there in front of Ace and the club car and the ABC store and the tobacco store. That they are not going to stay. That is what they call a coal patch that was put on just for the winter to try to keep it as best as we can, but didn't turn out too good because that coal patch separates. As soon as the asphalt opens up, uh, we'll have that redone. It should be just as good as new, and that is the company that did it is responsible for that. So they'll come back and redo it, but the asphalt company has to be open so we can get the asphalt.
And so normally you don't see this kind of thing in March anyway. So in fact, you're lucky if you see it, even mid-April or May. I mean, you got to have several warm days for this to work right. Isn't that right?
Yes, it's like I mean, Atkins Excavating is the contractor, and they're required to finish it. But we have to have so many warm days in a row above a certain degree before we can patch it, and it's going to hold.
All over, I believe it's accurate to say that all over Western Virginia, or at least we know in our area in Covington and now in the town of Clifton Forge, Columbia Gas Company has the right to tear up the roads. I guess that's the best way to say it, to do either mandated or obvious repairs to gas lines. And so down Edgemont Drive and all over the place in Covington, uh, there's been considerable inconvenience to the traveling public, and we've seen it in Clifton Forge.
Yeah.
And I think in Covington, I don't think city management at one point was getting proper notice that this is going to happen. It just happened. And in the town of Clifton Forge, I don't know what the situation is. Do you? And are there any meetings with the gas company, or are you forewarned about what street's going to happen when? How does this all work?
No, like you say, previously, I don't know how Covington works it, but previously here, the gas company can come in and do their thing without telling us where they're going, when they're going, or whatever. And that makes it hard after you've already paved a street and then they come in and show it up. So we have reached out to them, the town and the town manager and the public works director. We'll have a meeting with the gas company representatives next week to discuss and what is expected from the gas company regarding the restoration and the repair of the damaged streets we have now. And we will also go develop a tentative schedule for those repairs to be made in the future.
I
So
think
this will happen.
I think city manager Alan Dressler and the city council in Covington kind of coalesced and decided to have a little different relationship with Columbia Gas, like you were just talking about. So that meeting may end up being pretty important.
Yes, I think it will. It'll give us, hopefully work out a tentative schedule and give us when they're going to do what street or whatever, so we can not pave it until they're done, or at least know when they're coming and what they're going to do.
Well, you guys, overall, we record the meetings of the town council, and there are very few, at least public complaints that we see that people coming to actual town council meetings about this. Now, maybe there are many emails and phone calls, but I think the town residents are pretty happy with how town council has conducted street repair and especially water and sewer items. You guys, Chris Keyser and those and the public works crew are Johnny on the spot, at least in our experience. Is that the view you have of it?
Yeah, I mean, Chris and them do the best they can do with the small public works department we have. Last year we did a number of streets. Whether people remember them or not, we did portions of Jefferson, McCormick Boulevard, and A Street, Jackson Street were paved. When we go by the engineers list, poor, very poor, and like that's the way we got to go. We can't just, this street needs it. We'll just jump over to that. We're going by what needs it for worst that suits the best number of people.
Well, you can always put somebody on the list and talk to the engineering firm and say, "Hey, why is this rated?"
Yeah,
And just like what we did, I mean, there wasn't any plan we had. And if somebody's on the street with 5 potholes, maybe it's not obvious to town management, or potholes can happen very, very quickly.
yeah.
So, if you have a little bit of citizen help, that couldn't hurt a thing.
Yeah, just give us just give us a call, give the town manager a call, or Chris at Public Works. Let them know where these potholes are. I have about 5 or 6 coming to my place or whatever, and they haven't been, but we have to wait till the asphalt company's open.
Well, admittedly, I guess all of us need to have plenty of patience. I mean, it was the warmest February in years. I guess it may get cold next week, which is unusual, but there's no reason to think that March it won't be moderate. But still, as you pointed out, as long as it's X degree of coolness, you need that number of whatever you call them, heating days or whatever,
Yeah,
so that any repairs will stay put. Yeah.
I think it's a certain number, like 6 or 7 in a row over 50 or 60 before
Okay.
you can do. And the asphalt plant hasn't even opened yet.
What?
They're open, but they ain't making asphalt.
Okay. Well, hey, we know you've got a busy Saturday schedule, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time to explain how you guys go about road maintenance, and we're looking forward to the results of next week's meeting with Columbia Gas, and we appreciate you being proactive about this. This isn't something that's really come up too often in the
Yeah.
last couple of months or even last year, but I don't know. We just happened to see all those roads torn up, and we thought, I'm not so sure everybody's too happy about all this.
Yes. Well, Olive Cancel, express the same thing. Call somebody, call Chuck, whatever. If you got a pothole or a bad road or whatever, let us know, and we're there for you. That's why we want to get the information out, how things run in the town and how we do it. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and we're trying to just straighten it up. If you need to know anything, give us a call.
Well, that's very kind of you, Mr. Mayor. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.